Slow living is a concept that is not so new on the internet. I've been seeing videos on people doing slow living lifestyle type of content, let's say, and most of it is related to countryside living. And today I decided to do a video on how slow living has had an impact on my life. But first, let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Vaini. If you're new here, I do videos on countryside living because I do live in the Kenyan countryside. So feel free to subscribe and join the community. So, slow living, if I can define slow living from what I understand, is the art of slowing down and living a more simpler life. I can start by saying, but simple isn't equals easy. Most people think just because you live a simple life, it's easy. There are a number of things that I've learned from this art of living, which is the slow/simple living. And what I can start by telling you, the first impact it had on me was my old self when I was still in uni or planning to continue living the city life. Certain way my mind used to be, I needed like everything to be to have a plan, like not like have a plan, to be very structured, like I wanted things to appear in a certain way. But when I moved here, like hiyo kitu unaanza kulive slowly, like every day your days are slow, just simple tasks. They reformatted my mind. Mi nilikuwa ule mtu wa vitu tu zikwe tu, like my ducks to be in a row, yeah, like that type of person. But ever since I moved here, it was so hard for me to simply slow down, calm down, take some time off and figure out what I want. Nilikuanga kama nataka kitu ifanyike na imekataa kufanyika, I'll find another way round to force it to happen. And as I've told you in most of my videos, that like moving here forced me to be a more patient person, to be living in the moment, to enjoy the process, na nisikuwe nataka results like that instant gratification yenye nilikuanga nayo. So that's one of the first changes that I noticed with myself when I became more calm and accepting of things and deciding to take a breath and kwanza ndio vitu ziendelee. That's when I saw the flow of my goals, and it allowed me to calm my mind down and be very like intentional about my thoughts. And there's a voice in me ilikuwa inaniambia, just take this period to rest, like stop forcing things. The other thing that changed after moving here is finding joy in missing out on things. At first, also that was an area which was I had difficulty in letting go. I used to be a person who had a lot of FOMO. I used to have that fear of missing out. I remember when I moved here, I don't know there's this movie which was coming out in the IMAX, and I really wanted to be in the city when it came out. Niende nika watch. Then I remember the anxiety I was feeling as the days, because it's something I'd waited for a long time. I think it was Doctor Strange. Yeah, Doctor Strange 2 or something. It was an MCU movie. I can't remember which one, but I remember like feeling that I'm missing out on this, or seeing people going to events or living a certain lifestyle in the city, or people getting jobs in the city. I used to have that thing for seeing like my life is stuck, or it's like I'm missing out in a certain type of aspect of living. Like, I've come to understand I can exist in different versions of myself. And this leads me to my next point. This made me accept like there can be different versions of whiny. And also I was able, my other point, to redefine how I viewed success. The person, like my old self, the person who came here in December 2020, in December 2022 is a totally different version of myself, because that person thought otherwise. Like right now, what I believe is the grass is greener where you water it, and that's why most of my goals currently, I have set them with the mentality of challenging myself to see how much success can I build within a certain period of time here in the countryside. How, like, can I achieve something na labda even nikisha achieve these goals, I told myself now I've built a good momentum to try to explore building another version of myself, let's say somewhere like New York or somewhere. I just believe Nikki manage could thrive in whatever I've set for myself. I know I can survive anywhere in the world. I can just create that momentum of doing things a different way and building the dream life wherever I am in. Another aspect that is important, and we still have to consider, is friendship and community. Slow living here in the aspect of friendship and community, it encourages you to be intentional with how you spend your time or who you spend your time with. Another area is slow living requires a person to, like, forces a person to live a more creative life, or create a life, and create a life they love living. Yeah, what I can say about this, after having lived here in the countryside for almost 3 years, you have to be more creative. It enhances you to live more creative. Like, to say my gardening, I'm telling you guys, gardening is not even that hard. Like, there's that little joys in small joys. Imagine you live in the countryside, then you want to grow your food. There's that process, like, it's very joyous, getting the seeds, creating the nursery, seeing the seeds sprout, the watering process daily, like that routine which is built around that little project you're doing. It makes you to be more present and more joyous, touching the soil, vitu kama, like, even in the large projects where you plant maize in acres and acres of land, like the way you do it, the water, the weeding aspect, the kupiga dawa, alafu kwenda kuangalia shamba, the progress. Yeah, that process just makes your heart, like, even joyous, like seeing something grow inakufanya you just become a different person, like you're healed. I don't know, it just happens. You learn a lot of skills even when you're here, and you get a lot of hobbies for yourself. Like right now, I'm really enjoying gardening, propagating plants, and I hope to start a little bit of a project which is plant selling related. I hope I get to do that very soon. Yeah, when it comes to health, when you slow down, you're even intentional with what you're consuming, what you're consuming and what you're putting in your body, because you can now you have time to grow your own food, which is more organic. You don't have to be in a rush of buying things which have been grown fast with GMOs and are not even that good for your health. You can decide to have a diet which is more plant-based uko hapa, and just leave all those meaty, or if you're having meat, you have fresh meat from the chicken and the turkeys. If you're keeping turkeys, I think you can even, like, you live a healthier life. And even most foods, like like the traditional meals when you live in the countryside, they consist of boiling something, and tuseme even the vegetables, easy traditional, easy managu, yeah, you name them, all those things, so nutritious. That's why even most elderly people, like people with 120 years, most of, like, they've lived most of their lives here in the countryside. Like, just here the other, I don't know which year, I think I can't remember which year, there's a lady who passed with 129 years. Yeah, and I think she lived a good life, like simple life, slow living, can have benefits like your health venye nimesema. When you, and also when you're living here, you can decide to something which is like to live your own life, which is not influenced, like in this influencing world, you can lose your authenticity based on what you feeding your soul every single day. So here here when you're living in the countryside, you can express yourself in a way, whichever way you want. For me, I didn't expect to live a slower life. It was very unexpected, but I'm glad to have lived it, to be living it even, because it has taught me a lot. For now, those are the things I can share with you. I hope uh, continue to share my experience with you guys, so don't forget to subscribe and join the community, comment anything that you'd want me to do next, and i I hope to see you in my next video. I love you guys. See you in my next video. So bye.